If a guy shares his experience in writing, he's brave. If a woman shares her experience in writing, she's oversharing, and she's over-emotional, or she might be crazy, or watch out, she'll write a song about you.
Yeah, well, there is that.
But that joke is so old, and it's coming from a place of such sexism.
I think that as far as songwriting goes, I've been essentially opening up my diary for the world to read since I was 16. So that's an interesting kind of vulnerability to have when you are telling your life story and revealing your life narrative and all the feelings you had about those things happening to you to people who are going to understand it and see your side of it and kind of see, look at what you're saying and say, I get that, I feel that too. But you're also revealing your life and your true emotions to people who just kind of want to take you down and make fun of you. If you make the joke first and you make the joke better, then it's kind of like it's not as funny when other people call you a name.
But how do you feel when people say that you write about boyfriends?
It's interesting because I think as a songwriter, you have your fans who have been keeping up with your music since before you were known. You know, my first album came out when I was 16. So I would write about my life as I saw it, as I felt it. And then what happens is as you get more successful, which you're lucky if that happens, you have more and more people paying attention to what you're doing. And you've been doing it the same way your entire career as a songwriter, but all of a sudden the perspective has changed. And they use kind of you writing songs about your life as a way to play detective. And for me, I have a really strict personal policy that I never name names. And so anybody saying that a song is about a specific person is purely speculating. And they're going to do that, but the most important thing for me is maintaining artistic integrity, which means as a songwriter, I still continue to write about my life. I could very well water it down, and I could just say, like, you know, the sky is blue, and now we're dancing, and we're in a club, and it's great. But I just don't think that.
I love that song.
I know it was a number one hit, but
no, but people can sense honesty. You can tell in your music. You can hear.
You're gonna have people who are going to see the depth from which you approached a song, the fact that you put, your real emotions into it, and that's valuable and that's good and that's real. And then you're gonna have people who are gonna say, oh, like she just writes songs about her ex-boyfriends. And I think, frankly, that's a very sexist angle to take. No one says that about Ed Sheeran. No one says it about Bruno Mars. They're all writing songs about their exes, their current girlfriends, their love life, and no one raises a red flag there.
Sure.
Yeah, it's done with a wink. And what's fun about music is that, things that you can write kind of as a joke, a little bit like with a little humor in them, most people get it. Like, most people get that, like, Shake It Off is a funny, like, it's funny. Like, I'm not actually rapping seriously in that song. Like, it's done with, like...
I got it.
Exactly. Like, but some people are like, oh my God, why is she trying to be a rapper? You're like, you don't get it. Come on. They're like, she looks super awkward dancing in this video. It's like, oh my God. It's like, you can't read comments.
To give you people heat for holding a cat a certain way on the streets of New York.
That cat loves being held like that.
I know, but you can't do anything without somebody at some point on some web thread saying, well, this isn't right for the cat to be out like that. It's the
cat loves it.
The cat loves
the cat, here's the thing.
Is that Olivia?
Yeah, that's Olivia. Yeah, you're right, exactly. When everything that you do is debated upon, scrutinized, questioned, everybody feels entitled to ask you why you did everything. There are days where I feel really, really okay with that, honestly. But then there are days where I just am kind of overwhelmed by all of it, and I think that that's okay. I try to encourage my fans that they don't have to feel confident every day. They don't have to feel happy every day. They don't have to feel pretty every day. They don't have to feel wanted every day. That they shouldn't put added extra pressure on themselves to feel happy when they're not. I think being honest with yourself emotionally is really important. We don't live just in a celebrity takedown culture. We live in a takedown culture. People will find anything about you and twist it to where it's weird or wrong or annoying or strange or bad. You have to not only live your life in spite of people who don't understand you,
you have to have more fun than they do. If you learn to laugh at certain things and not take everything so seriously, if something hurts your feelings, that's valid, and you're allowed to let that happen. But I just kind of like, yeah, I do dance awkwardly, and I'm having more fun than you. At the end of the day, you just have to try to find a way to stay sane. Like, there's a balance to it all, and I have bad days where I focus on it, and I feel like there's nothing that I do that's right, and no matter how hard I try, you're gonna have people that just can't find one good thing about you. But focusing on those people is the quickest way to lead an unhappy life. So on one hand, I'm very aware of who I actually am, but I'm also very aware of what people are saying about me, and I think in order to be prepared, you have to know those two things. Well, it always comes from a place of storytelling. Like I always want to write from a place of kind of like a diary. And even if I'm making a pop album, I'm not ever gonna make a pop album that's just like, gonna go to the club, and dance, you know, like, and not have really much of a reason for writing that particular song. Like, I don't ever want people to be like, oh, like, you know, the beat of that song is kind of cool, and like, I can dance to it, but like, I don't really know what it's about, or I don't know what she wrote that about. There's always, I think coming from Nashville, there's always going to be an element of storytelling in what I do, even if it's pop music, even if it makes you want to dance. I also want it to kind of make you think too.
Yeah, that's the power of music. It's wonderful.
You know, I think when people say that they like one of your albums, like when people told me that like Red was their favorite album I'd done, I didn't take that as, so I should make that again. I took that as, great, awesome, now I want to make them like this new album just as much, if not more, than the last album, but I want them to like it for different reasons. As far as just kind of actual real life accomplishments, I think my connection with my fans and the fact that they care about lyrics and things like that, I think that's what I'm most proud of.
Taylor.
Hey.
Hi.
Come in.
Thank you so much for fitting a 73-question interview into your busy schedule.
Oh, it's all good.
All right, cool. Let's do this. So what's keeping you busy these days?
I'm just working out and getting ready for Grammys.
What's the most exciting thing in life right now?
Grammys?
What are you completely bored of in life right now?
Clickbait.
What is something that recently moved you?
The movie The Martian.
Okay, what do you have going on over here?
This is a room where I write.
You have two loves in your life. Tell us about the two loves of your life.
One is Meredith and one is Olivia, and they are cats.
Nice.
I kind of love these cats. They look, oh yeah, there they are. It's still a store.
Just staring me down from the shoes.
Trying to pick out which shoes to wear.
BBC Radio 1.
Oh,
Hi, welcome to New York.
thank you very much for having me. You are here to kick off Live Lounge Month 2019. It's a bit of a big deal, Taylor.
It's a big deal for me too. I'm really excited.
Well, we're so happy to have you back. It's been quite a while since you gave us the Live Lounge. And you're bringing us to New York. What is it about this city that you love so much?
I think my favorite thing about this city is that in other towns or cities or whatever, things feel very spread out. But because of something about the New York, everything being on top of each other, like the night falls together. Like in LA, I love LA, but you have to plan out exactly what you're gonna do. You have to park your car, you have to tell your friends where to meet you, then you figure out where you're gonna go next, then you have to get organized. It seems like there's just this magic about the city where a night just falls together and then you end up somewhere else, and you end up somewhere else, then you end up somewhere else. It doesn't seem like it happens that much anywhere else. London, it happens a bit.
London's pretty cool.
London's pretty great.
When you first landed here, did you have that sort of cliche feeling? It was like, wow, I've made it. I can be anyone. I'm in New York.
That cliche feeling was literally my entire personality for like a year. when I would be like walking down the street in New York, I'd be like, I'm going to get my groceries in New York because I'm just a girl in a big city. Like, I just was fully inspired by the whole thing. Like, I don't think you should ever have to apologize for your excitement just because it's like, I don't know, just because something's cliche doesn't mean that it's not something that's awesome.
True. What people call, supposedly cheesy is just joy, isn't it?
Yeah, like the worst kind of person is someone who makes someone feel bad, dumb, or stupid for like being excited about something.
Oh, I hear that. Well,
Worst type of person.
I'm excited to be here.
Good, yes.
Just so you
I'm not going to make you feel bad for that.
Please don't. Well, look, congratulations anyway, because I know you're excited because your album, Lover, is #1 in the UK. It's #1 pretty much everywhere at the moment.
It's been a really, really good time, yeah, with this album.
How satisfying does it feel for you to have this album be #1A, but the first album that you legally own? This is all your baby. How good does that feel?
It's the best. It's literally the most satisfying feeling in the world. To own this record, to know that, you know, this is something that I've always written all my own music. I've always made all of my own decisions. I've always curated absolutely everything about what I do. But, you know, the fact that I own it, it's just, there's something about that makes it more special than anything I've ever done.
And certain people aren't going to see a single penny of it, which is fantastic.
It's fantastic. Really good.
I do need to talk about that. He who shall not be named, Scooter, even though I just named him. I did it. I went there. But look, it's been really interesting to sort of see how this whole thing has played out, you know, because look, people will see stuff on the blogs, on Twitter, whatever, like, oh my God, the drama, the hype, it's crazy. But this is your life. You know, this is something that you are fully experiencing. Have you actually found sort of, I guess, peace in everybody knowing your side of the truth?
Yeah, for sure. I know exactly what happened. I think if you look at what happened, it's very obvious. It's just right there.
Yeah.
But I choose to look now at the positive of getting to go back in and re-record all my own music. That, you know, I get to go back and revisit these moments of my life. At the time that I recorded these songs, I didn't know what they were going to grow up and be. So it's actually really beautiful to get to go in and re-record this music that now I know how much it means to the fans. So I'm choosing to look at the excitement part of it. Am I happy it happened? Absolutely not. Am I ever going to be happy it happened? No. But I'm going to choose to redo all my music and be excited about that.
But which is great, because I think it just shows that, you know, you can have that level of agency no matter where you are in the industry. Like, it's okay to kind of, you know, attempt at least to take back some control.
Yeah, if you're the writer of your own music, that's why I always encourage new artists, write. Become passionate about writing. If you can at all, please write your music, because it's the only way that your rights can't be taken away from you in the music industry as it stands.
Right on. I mean, the last time I saw you, we were getting ready for a big weekend. Me and Greg were introducing you on the main stage, and you were about to bring the Reputation tour to the UK. Now, that kind of era of your life, like lyrically, you know, it was, and thematically, just looking at all the visuals, it was quite dark. You know, you had the whole snake motif. You had a lot to say, had a lot to get off your chest. How much of a different person do you feel compared to Reputation Taylor to Lover Taylor?
It's a very different place where I am in my life, and a very different way that I feel like expressing myself was so much easier with this album somehow. And it's hard to explain why that is sometimes, but Reputation was such a weird dichotomy, because when I put the album out, I had expressed all these like sort of dark, rebellious feelings, and then when I went on tour, like it's almost like that changed those feelings for me. Like the tour part of it, like when I'm like standing on stage at Wembley and looking out at that crowd, like those moments were what made my life like pastel and glittery again.
Yeah.
You know, so it's strange to have an album that seemingly on the face of it, on the surface, seemed very dark. There was like a secret like double meaning of that album, in that there were a lot of love songs about what my actual life looked like, you know. But now I get to make this album, Lover, that's just like, for me, this album is freedom in every single way.
Yeah, there's a certain joy to this record that I think, obviously, as you mentioned, was there a Reputation, but it's just more overt. It seems to me that you just want to have a nice time.
Yeah, it's not joy in spite of anything.
Yes.
It's just joy.
Yeah.
I do want to just have a nice time.
That is the feeling that I got from the record. I was just like, okay,
I'm literally just going to describe it as that from now on. Reputation is about trying to have a nice time in spite of a lot of things. Like, Lover, I just want to have a nice time.
Yeah. And we hear
Period.
it. She just wants to have a nice time, period. Now look, you've got a very public-facing job. You are this singer that everybody knows. You are somebody that is spoken about whatever your intention is. Like, I said to my producer earlier, you could tweet the word hello right? And the Swifties would be like, yes, Queen, she said hello. But then somebody could be like,
passive aggressive.
Why is she saying hello?
Petty.
Queen?
Why did she do that?
Yeah.
Why is she greeting us?
Yeah.
Who is she greeting?
Yeah.
She greeted us too soon. She greeted us too late.
Yeah.
She greeted us with a weird undertone.
Hello, hi. What does she mean? How do you navigate that space between like your lovers and your haters at this point in your career?
Oh, I think that one thing that the Reputation era of my life per se did for me was it taught me that I can live my life without any public approval and still have a really, really wonderful life.
Yeah.
And still want to make music and still want to connect with my fans, and like my love of music and my love of what I do and my ability to carve out a life of my own within that is a possibility.
Yeah. You've been doing this for about 13, 14 years now. You've seen how social media affects fandoms. Do you put pressure on yourself to kind of live up to that? Because people want so much from you. You know, they don't want just an autograph anymore. They want a selfie. They want you to talk to them on live streams. They want exclusive content. How have you managed to adapt to that?
I'm good with all that stuff because I've always been like, that part of the job is fun. Like, I remember when I first got a record deal, I went to Nashville and I was like, you guys don't understand, like the internet's gonna be a big part of music. Like, I have a MySpace and I have all these followers on MySpace and these people listen to my music on there and they're like, what? Like, all we need is radio and CD sales. And I'd be like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a factor. And so you just never know what's going to happen. Like, there's always, every new album release is different because there's always a new platform. There's always a new, way to have people experience your music. I find it interesting. I'm not like going to sit here and ever be the person that's like, it was only good the way it was when I started. Like, no, it's great. It's good now. Like, I like the fact that people can experience music in whatever way fits their life. And like, it's kind of awesome to have that insight of like, wow, I've seen so many things change in the last 15 years. And that's cool. It's not like daunting and weird and terrifying.
Especially when it comes to using your voice, because, I wanted to talk about how you use social media to get everything across, not just your music, but your views. You've been a lot more outspoken, like notably over the past kind of 3 or 4 years. Like, I remember in 2018 when the midterm elections came through, I tweeted that owl emoji that turns around like that. Saying, okay, Taylor Swift is moving with some Dixie Chicks energy. Well, all right. Because I think a lot of people like didn't see it coming, and it's something to be applauded because you had been notably sort of quiet in people's eyes about where you leaned or what you thought politically. Like, were you worried about any backlash, or did you come to a point of indifference?
I wasn't worried about backlash because I think at a certain point it's about right and wrong. And I think that I've always wanted to go directly to fans, to people who care about my music when I talk about something. Like, so when you have like a Tumblr blog or an Instagram post that can reach that many people, like, we have some really, really important times coming up. Like, this is the most imperative time in our political history, I think, coming up for us in America. And so I just want, you really can't care at a certain point if you're gonna be honest about what you think and how you feel and what you believe in. Like, it's just, you have to, I think, put it out there and then just log off. So that's what I do.
Well, no, I've definitely felt that with you, doing a song with Dixie Chicks. It's such a bold statement, For people that don't know, Dixie Chicks are an incredible band, arguably one of the biggest country bands in the world.
The best band we ever had in country music.
Fantastic, like, the harmonies are on point, like, beautiful band. They made a statement about George Bush a few years ago, and that pretty much, like, blacklisted them in Nashville, and the fact that you got them on your album, like, says a lot.
They're one of the main reasons why I wanted to be in country music, because, when I was growing up and I would look at country artists, only when the Dixie Chicks and Shania Twain and Faith Hill came along did I see people who were making these storyteller songs using acoustic country instrumentation, but putting on like pop spectacle shows, making pop videos, like
Ready to Run, great tune.
Yes, and also just like the fact that they were so overt in their femininity as well as so overt in their strength. Like, sometimes people get those things confused and think those elements to a woman are mutually exclusive, but they were so firm, so bold, also so feminine when they wanted to be. They affected me so much and they inspired me so much. And like to have them on my album is something that feels like a full circle thing in so many ways that I can't even encapsulate them in words.
Do you feel that this new boldness that we're seeing from you and this level of openness has like changed some of your fan base? Have you welcomed new fans that you weren't expecting before?
I haven't really looked at it as a cause and effect type thing. Mm-hmm. To me, it feels completely separate from my career. I literally don't look at the response to when I say something. Like, I'm not looking for, oh, so-and-so liked it, so-and-so didn't. Like, it's just, to me, I think that for so long people said, it is our obligation to stand up and say when things are wrong. And I completely agree. Mm-hmm. That's where it comes from. Like, I wasn't monitoring, like, if people kind of bailed on me or if people joined. And it's not about that at all. It's something way bigger.
Just speaking the truth.
I think you have to. And also, I think the things that happen to you in your life are the things that shape your political opinions and your willingness to discuss them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've had things happen in the last couple of years, a sexual assault trial, all kinds of things that have really shaped how much it matters to say your experience, to speak your experience into the world, and to stand up for things that, things are not going well in the world.
Yes.
Not saying that and not kind of having a call to action, like for voting. Like, I always want there to be a call to action for people to educate themselves on our system of government. I wanted people to know you do have to register by a certain date if you want to vote in midterms. Like, these weren't elements of like information that I thought were readily available to the public. So I was just like, hey, if I can stand here with 121 million Instagram followers and say this, maybe this helps. Maybe it doesn't, but you gotta say it.
Let's talk about London Boy. So this track mentions many places in the glorious city of London. We're talking Hackney, we're talking Camden, Bond Street, Highgate. Now, logistically, I just want to kind of get around the lyrics of this song. Now, was this supposed to be all in one day? And if so, how does Taylor Swift get around? Do you have an Oyster card?
This is supposed to be over the course of 3 years.
Okay.
I was like, somebody told me, like, they think that you're talking about one day. And I was like, oh no.
Yes.
You'd never make it.
Right, okay.
You wouldn't make it.
So categorically, it's over the space of 3 years.
Yeah, you'd make it in 3 years.
Okay, got it. Okay, that's good to know, because I was thinking, how does she do that?
Oh my God.
All in one day. That's good to know. And the other line about not threatening, babe, don't threaten me with a good time. Was that inspired by Gemma Collins? She's a big reality TV show star in the UK.
No, it's just something that some of my British friends say all the time.
Right, babe, don't threaten me with a good time.
And they say it exactly like that. So forgive the impression.
I'm glad we got those hard facts down on camera. Now, Taylor, you are about to kick off Live Lounge Month. Can you let us know what those songs are?
All right, I will do it. So the first song is London Boy. We've done sort of a stripped down acoustic version of it. And I've never played this song live before, so this is the debut.
Fantastic.
We're doing an acoustic version of Lover, which is probably my favorite song I've ever written. I'm so proud of that song. Next, we're doing an acoustic version of The Archer, which is another song off of Lover. Next, we're doing my cover song, which is a song by Phil Collins called Can't Stop Loving You. I just think it's so beautiful. And Phil Collins is just like icon, legend, But basically then I'm doing a song called Holy Ground, which is off of an album of mine called Red. And it's a song that's a huge fan favorite, but the way that it's on the way that it is on the album is very different than the way that we're going to perform it. So I wanted to kind of sort of flip the coin of the song and show like another side of it by doing it on piano and having it be like much more acoustic, emotional. And then the last song we're doing is You Need to Calm Down.
But of course.
So that's what's on the menu for today.
That is a good looking menu.
Thank you.
Chef's kiss. Right.
Taylor Swift. So lovely to see you.
Good to see you too.
Great to have you in the UK.
I like hearing my song, or my name sung too. That was
Taylor Swift. My horrendous voice.
No, I liked it.
So this is the life of Taylor Swift, which is constantly moving, new country every day, new city, you don't know what time zone you're in. Do you ever get a second just to kind of stop and go, I've sold this many albums, I've won this many awards, I am the biggest pop star in the world? Do you have those moments to digest?
Yeah, life is pretty busy right now, but
I've learned over the years it's not good for me to see pictures of myself every day because I have a tendency, and it's only happened a few times and I'm not in any way proud of it, but I tend to get triggered by something, whether it's a picture of me where I feel like I looked like my tummy was too big, or like someone said that I looked pregnant or something, and that'll just trigger me to just starve a little bit, just stop eating. I thought that I was just like supposed to feel like I was going to pass out at the end of a show or in the middle of it. I thought that was how it was. And now I realize, no, if you eat food, have energy, get stronger, you can do all these shows and not feel it. Which is really good revelation. Because I'm a lot happier with who I am, and I'm happier with, like, I don't care as much if, like, somebody points out that I have gained weight. It's just something that makes my life better. The fact that I'm a size 6 instead of a size 00. I mean, that wasn't how my body was supposed to be. I just didn't really understand that at the time. I really don't think I knew it. I would have defended it to anyone who said, I'm concerned about you. I was like, what are you talking about? Of course I eat. It's perfectly normal. I just exercise a lot. And I did exercise a lot, but I wasn't eating. And you can't. I don't think you know.
Me and the audience are like this now, and they just wanted to send you a message about your ex-man.
Look at all. I am recognizing a lot of people.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All I can say is congratulations. The record is getting unbelievable reviews.
Off with this. Let's really shake it off.
Yeah, I think it was the fact that lately I've been spending a lot of time online. Just well, not in the way you think. I've been kind of going and reading all kinds of comments from fans on Instagram and Tumblr and Twitter, and seeing that not only was I going through people saying things about me that weren't true, so was everyone that I was talking to online. And we may have different circumstances surrounding our lives and different sources of gossip. Theirs is like whispers in school hallways or rumors at work, and mine is on the newsstand when I check out at the grocery store. But it's the same feeling, and I think that it has to be the same reaction if you want to continue to live a happy life. You have to let go of things you can't control, and it's our human instinct to try and defend yourself when people have the wrong impression of you. You want to be like, but you don't like me because you don't understand. That's not what happened. But you have to let go of that and just like get rid of it because it's not yours anymore.
You were nervous about how this album was going to be received, and you always seem surprised when you win awards. How do you not know how awesome you are? And why were you nervous? And why were you nervous about this album?
Well, I wasn't necessarily nervous about this album. I think my label might have been a little nervous. But they'll never say it now.
Story. Okay, that's this.
But, I think that
I knew I wanted to change the way I did things creatively. I knew I wanted to keep people on their toes. I didn't want anyone to have their feelings hurt by me changing directions creatively, because that's never the end. And, you know, I think that I don't ever want to be presumptuous about anything, about being invited or about winning something or about something doing well, because if you're presumptuous about your next project doing well, then maybe you won't work as hard creating it. And I keep a nice healthy level of insecurity going at all times.
I understand that.
You know what bothers me is that you write about breakups, you write about your life, and they criticize you for that, but other artists, male artists, do it all the time, and they never make music.
Happy anniversary, by the way.
Thank you, darling.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I completely agree with you. And it's interesting how feminism has come up in conversations so much more in the last year. It's amazing to see, because I was never really taught the definition of feminism when I was a little girl, and I wish I had been. It just wasn't really culturally much of a conversation. In the mass, you know, with the masses,
Yes.
and with like where I was living in my small town. So it's amazing to see people like Emma Watson and people who are providing, providing
It's
a
just
really
about equality. It's not male bashing.
yes. And I love that there's an easy
How you feel
definition
about yourself,
Yes.
because and before you can do anything, you have to have a positive feel for who you are. No one completes you. You are already complete.
Yeah.
So that's what I love. You know, I said it earlier. One of the things I love about you is you march to your own drummer. And that, to me, is total freedom. Yeah. So I love it. I love it.
We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We have more with Taylor Swift, so please don't go away, okay?
Taylor's telling you what.
I actually ended up writing a song called Welcome to New York about what it felt like to move here and how it just felt very much like endless possibilities, and it feels like being unique is celebrated here. And
Yes.
the song Welcome to New York, I don't think I've told anybody this before, but the fans were wonderful enough to make it #1 on iTunes, and it's selling really, really well, which is good because I'm donating all of my proceeds to New York City public schools.
Wow!
With an incredible group of girlfriends, some famous, you guys were just talking about Lena Dunham, but some not so famous. And I think that all women can do a better job surrounding themselves with women that make them feel happy and strong. What are some of the things you look for in friends?
I look for people who really have their own passion in life.
Lena fits that cat,
absolutely.
Right?
We really relate because we're writers first and foremost, and also we're just super enthusiastic about everything. If you ever meet Lena for the first time, she comes up to you and she's like, "Hi, baby," and you've never met her before, but she's acting like you're a long lost friend, and that's what's so amazing about her. But my friends, they all are chasing their own dreams, and they all have their own ambitions, and that's what fuels you. You're supposed to surround yourself with people who challenge you and motivate you and make you want to be smarter, stronger, better.
Right.
So that's what my friends do for me, and I'm so happy to have so many good ones right now.
And you have so many fans, and you recently visited a little boy. I know this was not the only time you do this, but we have a beautiful tape of you visiting a little boy in the hospital with leukemia. Take a look.
I didn't know you'd come. You didn't know? Yeah.
Oh my God, I miss him so much watching that. That was just like a few months ago, but I already just like wish I could go back.
It looks like he would like that too.
I didn't know you would come. Oh, I love you.
I'm going to ask you a dopey question about your cat. Somebody just alerted us to the fact that it's National Cat Day.
National Cat Day today.
Two.
I have 2 cats.
Two cats. How friendly are they?
Well,
It sounds
So, like,
complicated.
there's two of them. The first one, that one's Meredith. Dr. Meredith Grey is her full name. And then that's Detective Olivia Benson.
Oh, that's so cute!
So, yeah, the theme is strong women characters on my favorite TV shows. But the first one, Meredith, started out as a very friendly kitten, and then she became sort of an internet celebrity, and I think she kind of she changed a little.
You gotta watch for that.
She just kind of sits around, and she's always giving me the side glance. She's always like, like, you know, like I don't matter anymore to her because she knows that she was like 2013's most popular celebrity cat.
Wow.
Yeah. So then there's the new one who like has terrible balance and walks into walls and like falls asleep on you purring. So she's just like polar opposites.
What is she? She's
They're both Scottish folds.
Ah.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
So happy Cat Day.
Happy Cat Day, everybody. Right. And you also just released a deluxe album that has some cool features. You want to tell us about that? And all
Yeah, because so the 1989 Deluxe Album is at Target, and it has 3 extra songs that I'm obsessed with. I'm so happy that people get to hear them. And it also has these 3 songwriting voice memos from my cell phone on the Deluxe
CD
album. Yeah, so essentially what that is when I start out writing a song and it's just me sitting at the piano with my phone up here recording a voice memo of it and me like making up half the lyrics because I only have the melody and half the lyrics. I wanted to show people that part of it because so many people ask questions about my songwriting, and I just wanted to show them like this is where it starts, and then you can listen to the album to see where it ended up.
Oh, great.
So it's like the before and after.
And that's probably helpful for all those kids there who want to be songwriters and singers like you. And there are millions of them.
And they all love you. I want to thank you for coming. You have brought joy to this studio.